"Mister, can you buy us?" the little girl asked, clutching her baby brother like he was all she had left. The rancher froze because no bullet he ever faced had cut deeper than those words. One dry border evening, a lonely rancher returned to his empty land. But when a little girl stepped out, clutching her baby brother and whispering, "Mister, can you buy us?" the question cut through his heart, setting off a journey of blood, justice, and unexpected hope. Snow skimmed the flats like salt on iron. Cole Bannister rode in at dusk. Cole had trailed a horse thief to Red Butte and found instead a wrong sound. Whoops, a gavel's rap, rough laughter. A man on a crate banged wood on wood. "Next lot," he called. "Woman fit for chores. 2 dependents. Start at 10. They had her with rope-burned wrists, head down, shawl thin as a lie. Behind her, a girl clutched a bundled infant, chin set. "5," someone yelled. The girl turned and found Cole. She measured him. "Can you buy us, mister?" she asked, clear as a bell. "We won't be trouble." Laughter thinned. Cole wasn't law now. He worked cattle, checked brands when asked. He'd buried a future 5 winters back under a name burned by smoke. He told himself this wasn't his fight. 10, a voice said. Cole shouldered forward. 15, 20, a burly man tried. 35, Cole said. The gavel fell. Sold, cash on the barrel. Cole counted bills. The rope came off the post and was handed to him like a leash. The woman never looked up. The girl moved to his side, still hugging the bundle. "Come on," Cole said. "Horses this way." They left the torches for Blue Cold. Under a wind-bent pine, he stopped. "Ma'am," he said, "I need your face." She hesitated, then raised her head. High cheekbones, a fine white scar at the mouth's corner, and eyes brown with flecks that caught light and gave it back. Those eyes had lived in his sleep. Her voice came rough. "My name is May Collins. This here is Wren. The baby's Toby. We don't want no trouble, sir." Cole touched the burnt scrap in his coat, last of a handkerchief once white. The boarding house fire had eaten a name and left him a coffin full of nothing. "You're freezing," he said. "We're going." He boosted Wren to the sorrel and handed her the baby. The woman climbed up slow. Cole led them away from torch smoke and men who'd sell anything that breathed. They made dry willow by full dark, the cabin a square of shadow. He got them inside, set coffee to boil, hung blankets by the fire. The room held a table, 2 chairs, 1 bed, and a short shelf of books. "Sit," he said, "warm up." The woman obeyed, shoulders between the heat and the children. The girl stared at the books. "You can read?" he asked. "Yes, sir," Wren said. "Mama reads when I can't sleep." May Collins sat very still. Her eyes watched and told nothing. Cole dished beans and jerky, tore bread, handed the biggest piece to the girl. She broke it and passed half to her mother. After they ate, he stepped to the lean-to, checked his gelding, and stood in the cold. Back inside, he set 2 splits on the fire. The girl had found a thin book and was whispering lines. "Read me one," Cole said. She cleared her throat. "Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments." His hand found the chair back. He looked at the woman. She looked down. "There's 1 bed," he said. "You take it with the young'uns. I'll roll by the fire." "Thank you," she said, careful as a man crossing creek ice. He sat with his back to the door. Outside, wind worked the eaves. He closed his eyes and saw again what he'd sworn was ash, a face, a scar, and eyes that lit a room from within. The fire popped once like a small gun, then settled down slow. If May Collins was who she claimed, tomorrow would be hard. If she wasn't, if she wore a ghost's borrowed name, tomorrow would be harder. Either way, he'd tied his trail to theirs. That much was done. Dawn came thin and brittle. Cole set coffee to perk and eased the latch. Snow lay light as flour. He circled the yard slow, boots whispering. 2 riders had come in the night and kept their saddles. One track showed a split nail in the left hind, blackthorn steel. Inside, the room smelled of beans and soap. May had washed the baby in warmed rainwater. Wren sat cross-legged, the infant asleep in her lap. "Ma'am," Cole said, "hold out your hands." Rope burns ran raw. He dabbed axle grease cut thin, cowhand doctoring. She didn't flinch. Up close he saw hunger pared neat and a posture taught long ago. "You keeping to May Collins?" he asked. "That's the name I've been carrying," she said. Wren eyed the shelf. "May I read, sir?" "You may." She traced a line with her finger, whispering, until it came. "Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds." May's gaze slid away. He fried salt pork with potatoes, set 3 tin plates. He ate standing and watched them settle. Wren hummed between bites. May cooled each spoon for the baby. The ease of it cut him. "You worked with words," he said. "I do what's honest," she answered. "Laundry, housework." He nodded. Habit made him lay rules like fence wire. "You can stay till we fix a safe road. After sundown, lamp stays low. If I say down, you drop. If you hear hooves, stay off the windows. Clear?" "Yes, sir," May said. Wren echoed, "Yes, sir." He set a Colt above the door. The Winchester leaned by the hearth. He checked the action, counted cartridges. May watched without blink. "Anybody else know this trail?" she asked. "Only those who shouldn't." Afternoon went blue and clear. He mended a split rail. Wren padded out in his old boots and a blanket like a cape. "Can I help?" "Hold that board." She braced it, face grave with work. When the nail bit, she smiled small. Toward evening, he found a twist tobacco wrapper by the cottonwood, stamped Denver Mercantile. Fresh. He pocketed it and let the worry sit. Night fell quick. He banked the fire to coals and doused the lamp. In the dark, the cabin breathed. Timbers eased, iron cooled. A baby sighed. He lay on the floor roll, listening. He had known other nights like this. A woman and a child on one side of a thin door, bad men on the other. "Mr. Bannister," May said, "thank you for buying us." "I didn't buy you," he said. "I bought time." Silence settled now. He almost slept. Hoofbeats, 2, maybe 3, coming soft along the creek. He rose, took the Colt, and eased to the window. A lantern bobbed once, went black, then bloomed again behind the trees. Men murmured, spurs chimed, men at careful work. Wren stirred. He touched her shoulder. "Hush now." The riders slid to the far fence and stopped. One dismounted, crouched, and felt the rail he'd mended. A match flared, cupped, and went out. May hadn't left the bed, but he could feel her fear. Fear has weight like wet wool. They sat their horses a long minute. Then the lead man faced the cabin and rapped twice on the door with something metal. "Cole Bannister," a voice called, steady, unhurried. "Open up." He breathed once, shifted the Colt to his left so his right could lift the latch. He knew a dozen voices in this county. This one could be a friend or a man paid to sound like one. He lifted the bar. The door moved a thumb's width. "Who's there?" he said. The voice came through the crack, close now, blowing steam. "Stand easy, Cole, it's me." Cole cracked the door on the chain. Cold slid in, a hat brim, a mustache. "Stand easy," the man said. "Eli Talbot." Cole unhooked the chain. "Sheriff?" Talbot stepped in, stamping snow. His eyes took in the bed, the woman, the kids, then came back to Cole's gun hand. "Coffee?" Cole asked. "I won't say no." May sat still. Wren peered over a blanket. The baby slept, fist at his mouth. "You been minding your own?" Talbot asked, warming his hands. "Mostly." "Mind it closer." Silas Blackthorne rolled into Sage Hollow at noon, took rooms at the Grand, brought lawyers and a wagon of hard cases. He's asking after a woman and two dependents gone missing off his place outside Denver. He keeps saying property. Law says different, Cole said. Law bends where he leans, Talbot answered. Judge Reeves is in his pocket. He posted coin for talk. $5 buys a conscience here. May looked at her hands. What's he got on you? Cole asked. Nothing he can spend. Talbot's mouth ticked. Two strangers tried to buy me. I sent them to walk in the river. They didn't. Bodies? Bruises. You got company, I should know. May lifted her chin. We'll be gone when the weather lifts. Name? Talbot asked. May Collins. This is Wren. The baby's Toby. Talbot nodded once. You ever hear of a Pinkerton called Silas Keene? Keene ain't pink. He's a rent fox. He's sniffing the livery. He'll sell any trail twice. Cole said, tracks at the south fence. Split nail on the left hind. Yours? No, I came alone. Talbot set down the cup. Listen, Blackthorn means to make a show. He'll send rough stock to knock on doors. Voluntary inspection on paper. Reeves will bless it. You have one night to choose your road. May's eyes went to the shelf, then to Wren. We don't have choices, she said. We have roads. Talbot looked at her longer than was polite, brows drawn as if chasing a name. Ma'am, you ever teach school at Willow Bend? Silence took the room. I did a season, May said. Then you know what a word can do, Talbot said. He pulled on his gloves. I'll hang lanterns where folks can see. Not every man here is for sale. If you need a friend, put 2 shots in the night and wait. If you hear a third, it's me. Cole, Talbot added. Blackthorn aims to collect what's his. You notice how men like him say that? Like a brand iron. Like a brand iron. Keep your powder dry. Hoofbeats faded. Cole barred the door. He recognized me, May said. He recognized a teacher he once saw, Cole said. But he knows. He suspects. Suspecting ain't knowing. Wren tugged his sleeve. Sir, are we leaving tonight? Not yet. He eased her back. We leave when the dark is thick and the creek hushes iron. He packed light, cartridges, jerky, and oilskin map. He set the burnt cloth in his breast pocket, where it rode like a coal. May, he said. She looked up. When the time comes, you ride without talk and you don't stop. If I say left, you go left. If I say drop, you eat dirt. Can you take orders? I can take sense. Good. He doused the lamp and sat with his back to the door, Winchester across his knees. Outside, the corral sign spoke in a dry voice. Snow sifted the world to its bones. He counted breaths and cooling iron. The night had length. Near midnight, a lantern blinked twice on the ridge, then steady. Time, he said. May rose, gathering the baby. Wren slid into the coat, solemn as a deacon. They stepped into the cold. Wind cut sharp. They followed the creek with lamps blacked, the gelding feeling the ruts better than eyes could. Wind worried the willows. Cole set Wren before him on the saddle, the baby bundled to May's chest, and took the cattle path that ducked behind a shale bluff. There he reined in. No fire, just breath fog and the creak of leather. We hold here, he said. 10 minutes. May stood steady, a shadow with a heartbeat. Wren tucked under his coat like a pup. Ma'am, Cole said quietly, is May your right name? A long breath. It's the name that kept us alive. What's the one that cost you? Nora Whitlow. He let the sound of it settle. All right, Nora. I was court stenographer at the Cimarron courthouse, she said. I typed minutes I wasn't meant to read, freight totals that didn't match, vouchers with signatures that came too often. I made copies, hid them. Judge Reeves took coin from Silas Blackthorn to grease everything that moved. Rails, sheriffs, men with empty souls. Blackthorn found out. How? A whisper, maybe a clerk, maybe my own face. He sent men the night before the fire, took me out a back stair, paid for bones enough to bury under my name. Folks call it a mercy when they can close a coffin. You closed one for me." "I did," Cole said. "They told me if I so much as breathed your name, they'd put you in the ground proper," she went on. "They put me on Blackthorn's spread outside Denver. Later he married me off to a foreman, Ward Pike. Ward was cruel in small ways, lazy in big ones. He died last year under a horse. Toby is his." The bluff held the cold like a vault. "The papers?" Cole asked. "In a tin box," she said, "under the angel oak in Sage Hollow, where you asked me to say yes." Stars showed between torn cloud, hard as nail heads. "You meant to bring them out?" "When I could run and keep Wren breathing, I learned to make my face go to sleep and my hands look busy. Wren kept me awake." Cole looked at the girl. "You knew your letters before you had shoes that fit." Wren nodded against his coat. "Mama says words are doors." "They are," Nora said. "Why Red Butte?" Cole asked. "They sold us to cover Ward's debts. The buyer was a man with a badge that wasn't law. We slipped the handler near the border and kept north. Then the auction." "The men in town?" "Blackthorn's hands with new hats." Cole weighed it. The old ache in him rose and took the shape of a vow. "We ride for Mesquite Bend," he said. "Hester Crowell owes me one, and she keeps a root cellar you could hide a Sunday choir in. From there, we reach out to a marshal who still reads straight." Nora watched him. "You believe me." "I buried air and called it you," he said. "I won't do that twice." Wren's voice, small. "Mr. Cole?" "Yep, little bird. What's the angel oak?" "A tree that remembers better than men," he said. Far off, iron rang once. Somebody set a shoe on a wheel or a horse shifted on rock. "They're moving," Cole said. He cinched the girth. "When we drop to the flats, keep the creek between you and the moon. If I say split, you bend for the cottonwoods and you don't look back." Nora adjusted the baby, checked the rope, and swung up. Wren settled in front of Cole, small hands holding horn. "Say it," Nora said. "What?" "That we'll make it." "We'll make it," he said. He didn't put sugar on it. They slid out of the hollow, hooves careful as thieves, and took the dark where it would have them. Mesquite Bend showed at first light, frost on wire. Cole pulled up at a cottonwood farmhouse. Smoke climbed thin from the chimney. The door opened before his knock. Hester Crowell stood with a shotgun crooked in one arm, flour on her cheek. "That's far enough," she said. "Name it." "Cole Bannister. I brought trouble and 2 children." Her eyes slid to Nora, to Wren, to the bundle. The barrel lowered a hair. "Get in," she said. "Cole does a meaner job than rumor." Inside smelled of coffee and quilts. She set the gun aside. "You look like you slept in your boots," Hester said. "Still smart enough to come here?" "Smart enough?" Nora hovered by the table. Wren stood square. "You're safe as I can make you," Hester said. She rapped a floorboard and led them to a shelf that was a door. A tug on cord freed the latch. The wall swung in. "My Thomas built this when riders crossed lines at night," she said. "Vent runs to the hen house. Smoke smells like chickens. Blankets, a crock, jars of beans." Hester pointed to a peg and a cord. "2 pulls if company comes. 3 if it's law you trust." Cole felt a notch of grind leave his spine. "You keep paying debts, Hester." "I don't keep books on kindness." She turned to Wren. "Hungry, little bird?" "Yes, ma'am. Hands first, hope later." At the pump, Wren's fingers turned red. Hester set Johnny cakes. The child ate neat, slid bites to Nora when she thought no one looked. Isaiah Brooks came in from the yard, scarf iced. He tipped his hat, then spoke low. "Tracks along the draw," he said. "Shoes cut deep from the west. 1 horse drags the left hind." "Split nail," Cole said. "They're close." I'll walk fence and fix a board that ain't broke, Isaiah said. Give a man something to look at while he misses the thing he should. Obliged. Nora fed the baby back to the room. Hester watched her. You got a name you'd rather use? Hester asked. Nora Whitlow. Well then, you're wearing brave thin. Sit. Let somebody else hold a corner. Nora sat. They set a plan over plates. Rest till afternoon. Cole would ride for powder and news with Isaiah in shadow. Nora and the young ones would lay low. The peg line would talk if anything bent wrong. Hester put a small box by Wren. Inside, a whittling knife and cedar. She nicked edge on steel, then guided the girl's wrists. Make something that remembers you. Cole walked the porch. Under the window he found a knife stuck to the post. Handle burned with a thorn mark. He eased it out with a rag and showed Isaiah. Blackthorn Rangers, Isaiah said, their card before they make the call. Then the clock's wrong side, Cole said. He went in and shut the door. We've been noted. Most days I am, Hester said. Eat. Afternoon thinned. Isaiah saddled, humming iron music. Cole checked the Winchester and cinched his sorrel. At the threshold, Wren held up the cedar. The shape of a bird was starting to rise. What are you making? Cole asked. A wren, she said. So I won't forget how to fly home. That'll do, he said. Hester touched his sleeve. If you don't come by dark, I'll pull the world in after me. Don't make me. I'll be back. Nora's eyes found his. No plea, just steadiness. They rode out by the orchard lane, keeping to ruts that held shadow. The cottonwoods rattled once and went still. Behind them the house kept their warmth. Ahead the road ran quiet toward a town big on talk and short on truth. Sage Hollow looked Sunday quiet, though it was Tuesday. Cole and Isaiah tied off in the alley by the livery. Powder, caps, coffee, Cole said. I'll walk a circle. Cole stepped into the mercantile. A brass bell tattled. Mr. Mercer weighed nails slow. Powder, flour on Hester Crowell's account, Cole said. You running a charity? Just flour. He paid and turned. A gray suit corked the doorway. Fair hair, city boots, a smile that didn't reach the eyes. Mr. Bannister, the man said. Keene, Pinkerton. He flashed a nickel badge. It looked right. It felt wrong. You came far to buy groceries, Cole said. I came to ease you off a noose, Keene said. My client says you stole property, a woman and 2 minors. Return them and the matter sleeps. Men say property when they're shy of the law. I represent the law adjacent. Mr. Blackthorn prefers discretion. Cole lifted the flower. Tell Blackthorn to mind his own name. Keene moved aside without moving. Sleeplight. Outside, Isaiah waited. Gray suit. Keene, paper bag fire, telegraph. They crossed to the depot. A long-legged boy sat at the key, wheat straw in teeth, ink on his hands. Pip Gardner? Yes, sir. You keep counsel? Yes, sir. Cole printed, to U.S. Marshal Santa Fe. Stop evidence of interstate traffic and official bribery held by witness Nora Whitlow. Stop threat from Silas Blackthorn, and hired men stop request, quiet assistance and warrants. Stop contact Sheriff Eli Talbot Sage. Hollow stop C. Bannister. Clean or dirty? Pip asked. Clean on your wire, dirty on the copy. How long? If the line stays friendly, 4 hours. Send. Burn your carbons. The key chattered. Isaiah watched the street. Cole paid silver. When they stepped out, the piano tried a tune and quit. Keene stood by the depot and tipped his hat. Isaiah said, Want his wallet? We already know who pays him. They swung past the farrier. Winds from the Sangres, the smith said. Good for tracks. They rode out before noon. On the ridge, Cole looked back. Keene smiled while the clerk fidgeted. Mesquite Bend took them in. Hester Crowell had a shotgun by the flour bin. Visitors? Cole asked. 2 men with new hats, Hester said. They admired my chickens and the wrong door. I asked them to leave. Polite. Polite enough to hurry. Pip sent a runner. Marshal office wired receipt. They ask for time and quiet. Nora stepped from the pantry with Toby on her hip, Wren at her skirt. Keen? She asked. Met him. Wears one badge and works for another. He knows my name. He will. If he can't steal it, he'll buy it. Wren held up a cedar chip like a bird. It's getting there. It is, Cole said. We'll need it to remember what we're riding for. Evening laid a thin rim on the pasture and took it back. Cole walked the fence. At the lane cottonwood he found a gray thread on bark. City cloth. He pocketed it. They're near. They know how to wait. Hester banked the stove. So do we. Isaiah set shells on the mantel. Nora checked the peg line. Wren folded a blanket square. Cole sat by the door with the Winchester across his knees. He thought of the angel oak and a tin box under roots that had known their names. If Santa Fe comes, Hester said, they'll come like rain, quiet till it hits the roof. Let it hit, Cole said. Night pressed flat against the windows. The baby sighed. Cole watched the dark learn their shapes, the way a hunter studies game before he chooses. They left Mesquite Bend after moonrise, Hester on the stoop with her shotgun and a nod. Isaiah ghosted them a mile, then turned back. Cole and Nora took the creek road. No lanterns, the horses stepping careful. A cold shine rode the snow. At the edge of Sage Hollow they tied off behind the cooper's shed. A few drifters, piano trying 2 chords, the grand lit. Cole pointed with his chin. Livery, he said. Noise buys us minutes. Nora buttoned her coat and touched the inside pocket. You remember the roots, she said. I remember where I knelt. They split. Cole kept to shadow, slipped into the stable, picked 3 lively bays, loosed their ties, swung the big door and clapped once, hard. Hooves thundered. A boy yelled. Men stumbled. Nora crossed the square like any woman with business before curfew. The angel oak spread black arms over the little park. She dropped to a knee at the north side, fingers finding the seam she had cut 5 years back. The knife tip worked under a stone. Dirt gave. Easy, she told herself. Doors, not walls. Her hand closed on iron. She freed a palm-sized box, edges worn smooth, and tucked it beneath her coat. When she stood, a man on the hotel porch struck a match. The light ran across his face and hers. His head turned. Cole heard the new noise at once, a shout not born of horses but of notice. He cut right, fired 1 round into the air to pull eyes the wrong way, and saw the porchman point. The lobby spilled 3 more. Nora walked, not ran. Running draws bullets. She slipped behind the milliners, stepped over a drunk, slid between barrels, kept to the alley by the undertakers. Voices braided behind her. Boots hit planks. She counted doors. 2 more and the lane broke to the creek. A figure stepped from shadow, city hat, store-bought smile. Evening, Mrs. Pike, Silas Keene said. Small town keeps large secrets. Step aside, she said. Trade then. You give, I forget. Not tonight. He reached. She moved first, heel to instep, shoulder to chest. Keene bounced off a barrel and cursed. Nora slid past. Cole met her at the lane. You have it? She patted the coat. We have it. Good. Go. They cut for the creek, but the alley mouth bloomed with men. One of them the porch watcher. He raised a pistol. Cole's Winchester spoke once. The man sat down sudden and reconsidered his choices. The others scattered. Cole and Nora took the cottonwoods. They followed water north, horses where they'd left them. Hooves in shallows don't tell much. Cole boosted Nora up, tucked the box into his own coat, and swung to the saddle. Shots cracked from town, wide and nervous. No one answered. Sage Hollow loved noise. It was stingy with aim. They stayed low in the creek bed until the last bridge, then climbed out for the ranch track. Cold bit the lungs, clean and mean. The sorrel blew steam. The bay tossed his head and asked for speed. Cole gave him a taste and held the rest. Behind them, a bell clanged in the Grand. Keen's voice rose thin, selling a tale. Cole did not look back. "Half a mile to the ridge," he said. "Then mesquite," she said. "Then a wire answers. Then blackthorn follows the wire." He would if he knew which pole to climb. They topped the ridge and let the horses pick the downgo. In the low place between two knolls, they pulled up to listen. The night held its breath. "Ride," he said. Snow hissed under hooves. Night held. They rode. They kept the ridge right and the dark at their backs. The horses held a long, ground-eating trot. "2 more miles," Cole said, "then water." Nora rode close, Toby warm under her coat. "How high?" "Cold and fast. We'll live with it." At the cottonwood bluff the river widened and spoke loud. The Cimarron took winter like a dare. Cole slid down, found a floor under the rush. "We cross here," he said. "Lead first, then ride." They walked the horses in. Water hit like a fist. Wren held the horn. Nora kept her knees firm, her hands calm. Halfway, a shot cracked off the bank. Another. Chips jumped from a snag near Cole's head. He swung up, put his body between Wren and the bank, and drove the sorrel forward. "Keep moving." A third bullet found meat. Heat tore his upper arm and went cold. He shoved the horse through belly-deep water. The current shouldered at them. They came out dripping, shivering, alive. Nora pulled into Willow. "Show me. It's a scratch. Show me." "Oh." He peeled his sleeve. Furrow and blood. She tore a strip from her lining, spit to slick it, and wrapped the arm tight, not set low so he could work a gun. "You've done this," he said. "I learned what kept us here." They climbed a miner's draw, rock to talk to a hoof, brush to hide the talk. Behind them the river kept their secret. "Will he follow the ford?" Nora asked. "He'll follow tracks till the ground forgets us." They topped a shale shelf. Far off, a lantern bobbed twice and steadied. "That's him," Cole said. "Keen." "No, the other one." The sorrel labored. Cole eased him. Wren leaned into him, all bone and will. "I'm not scared," she said. "You can be," he said. "Just don't let it steer." The draw pinched to a redstone pocket. Old ash showed where men had camped. Cole kicked it flat and led them under a leaning wall. "We rest the horses 10, no fire." He checked the Winchester and listened. Below, a rider called to another, casual as ordering supper. The tone carried wrong, a man used to owning outcomes. "Blackthorn," Nora said. "I reckon. What does he want most? To be the story everyone else has to live in." She eased down and lifted Toby to her shoulder. The baby sighed and slept again. Wren touched the bandage. "Does it hurt, mister?" "Like a nail in a boot." The stars hung plain like they'd been hammered there for keeps. "Listen," Cole said. "Hooves." Slow, feeling the ground. Then silence. Good hands don't chatter. Nora tightened her coat. "If they find us, then we make distance another way." He looked to the east run where the pocket eased into timber. "Time's up." They moved single file through the slot, leading the horses by cheek, iron muffled with cloth. A stone slithered and told on them. Shouts rose from the lower trail. A rifle spoke and found rock. "Go," Cole said, swinging up one-handed, left at the fork. They hit the deer path to the high trees. Shots nipped after them, late and angry. The sorrel stretched and gave what he had left. Nora's bay stumbled, caught, and fought on. At the next rise, Cole looked. On the ridge, a black horse and a square jaw, in lantern glow. Silas Blackthorn had come to see it done. "Ride," Cole said. "He's close enough to smell our coffee if we'd had any." "We didn't," Nora said. "That's why we're still here." They bent to the trail and let the dark take them in. The Cimarron a mile behind, the mountain drawing them like a hard promise. go. They climbed to the high lonesome where rock kept its own counsel. The ridge lay like busted ribs, the sky a cold tin plate. Cole's arm throbbed under Nora's tight bandage. Wren rode quiet. Toby slept to a low hum in Nora's throat. A figure waited where the trail pinched. Gray braid pony thin as wire. Samuel Red Elk, Cole said. Still reading ground, Bannister? Red Elk asked. He studied the horses, the raps, the way fear rides. Men behind you wear iron and a leader who likes choke chains. Wind will swing at dusk. Your sign will go where you don't want it. We need a way that fools sign, Cole said. Red Elk cut sage and tied it light to each fetlock. Drag whispers, choose stone when you can. When you must take sand, cross it sideways. He touched Cole's sleeve. Keep that arm high. Blood calls wolves and men. Nora said, we owe you. You owe each other, Red Elk said. His eyes went to Wren. Little bird, hold your words. Air carries more than breath. He pointed up canyon. A miner's lean-to under a shelf before dry knife pass. Good back, bad approach. If they mean to wait for sun, they'll make a ring on the low trail. Don't be there. You seen the man on the black horse? Cole asked. Red Elk's mouth thinned. He sits high and throws his shadow on other men's names. Paper is his gun when lead fails. They moved. Sage brushed and blurred their trail. On a flat, Cole swung down. Nora looked into the cut they'd climbed. I used to dream about killing him, she said. Poison in his glass. A knife while he slept. What stopped you? Wren, and knowing one dead man wouldn't break the gears. The papers will. She tapped her coat. I learned a face that didn't tell on me. I won't wear it with you. Cole said it plain. I hauled for him once before I saw. Thought it was freight and law. Reeves cut my badge when I turned. 3 men came to teach me manners. 2 didn't go home. The 3rd ran my name crooked. Nora did not look away. You didn't fail me, she said. You buried what they handed you. I was the one still breathing. He broke bread and passed half. I'm done letting him write us. We're the ones with the pen, she said. They ate in the lean-to's shadow, backs warm to old timber. Wren whittled her bird with Hester's little knife. Toby drowsed, fist in shawl. Will you throw them off? Cole asked as Red Elk turned his pony. I'll draw a crooked line for them to love, the old man said. If coyotes speak, hear where they look, not where they stand. He rode off. Evening brought a wire edge. The wind swung like Red Elk promised. Far below, a match flared, cupped, then died. Men took places, one called soft to another. Spurs ticked, patient, so slow. They're setting for dawn, Cole said. Then dawn is when we can't be here, Nora answered. Right. He checked the Winchester and the sage ties. He pressed the tin under his shirt to keep the papers dry. When I say move, we move. No talk, no looking back. Wren slid the unfinished bird into her pocket. I'm ready. They lay quiet while dark filled the folds. Somewhere a stone clicked, the small sound of a man who thinks he is careful. Cole counted the lantern blinks below and measured 4 men for sure, maybe more. He felt the circle close like hands around a throat. Now, he said, voice low. They rose into the black and stepped off the shelf toward the narrow that would take them out if it didn't break under them first. Dark pooled in the cut like oil. Cole waited till the wind turned and carried camp breath downhill. He touched Nora's arm and moved. They led the horses, iron wrapped in rags, feet finding stone that could drink sound. The shelf narrowed to a slot. Frost ticked and died on rock. Wren walked straight, one hand on Cole's coat. Toby slept against Nora, warm as bread. Halfway, a shale plate slid. Pebbles whispered, then rattled. Voices rose below. A match cupped, died. A rifle barked. Keep low, Cole said. They eased through the pinch and mounted. Timber took them. From the basin came the iron voice of men putting spurs to motion. "They'll try the draw," Nora said. "They'll try every door." They ran the deer path to a fork. Left, a shadowed run to the creek. Right, the ridge under cold sky. Air carried clink from the right, bits and rings. Left smelled of water and shale. "Left when I call it," he said. A shout rolled up slope. Shots cracked. Bark spat over Wren's head. Cole set the sorrel between her and the ridge and let him eat ground. Nora's bay stumbled, caught, drove on. They crossed a wash of moonlight. 3 riders showed on the skyline, then dropped, coming fast where the trail bent. The fork opened like a question. "Now," Cole snapped. Nora took the left. The bay slid, found purchase, vanished into the darker run with the tin box tight to her ribs. Cole reined hard, swung down, and slapped his sorrel's rump. The horse leapt after Nora. Cole ducked behind a stove-big boulder and laid the Winchester across it. The first rider overshot the turn. The second checked. The third, big, square, black horse under him, pulled up sure and mean. Lantern glow licked his jaw. "Blackthorn." He lifted a hand. The others spread. "Bannister," he called. "You got something ain't yours." "Paper," Cole said. "Give it back and step aside. Woman goes home. Girl learns her place. The baby gets a trade." "You talk like a deed book," Cole said. "You're outgunned," Blackthorn said. "Maybe, but you're out of dark." Cole fired high to make them duck, snapped fresh, slid left. A round smacked his rock and whined into trees. He worked the rifle calm, counting cartridges against their nerve. He needed a minute's doubt for Nora to buy distance. A rider tried right. Cole clipped his hat brim and sent him flat. Another edged left. Cole kicked a chip of granite in his eye. No kills if he could help it. Dead men make mobs brave. Wounded men teach caution. Below, the creek spoke louder, a cold saw on stone. Nora would be there now, picking black water. He pictured Wren's hands on the horn, chin set. "You know how this ends," Blackthorn said. "I have the county, the courts, the coin. You have a rock." "I have time," Cole said. "Then I'll take that too." He signaled. A fourth shadow slid to Cole's rear, keen, neat as a clerk. Cole smelled cologne a half-second before the move. He wheel-kicked, boot met bone. Keen's pistol popped and chewed splinters. Cole smacked the rifle butt into his wrist, heard metal hit dirt, and shoved him into cactus. Shots raked the boulder. Stone dust stung. Cole rolled and fired twice down the ridge, low and mean, to push them back. A horse screamed left. Silence followed. "Last call," Blackthorn said. "Hand it over." Cole smiled. "Come take it." He counted 3, rose, and ran for the left-hand cut, boots slipping muzzle. Behind him, ridge lit with fire. He did not look back. He ran the cut, boots skidding. The creek showed dark and loud. Nora waited on the bank, Wren tight to the horn, Toby warm under her coat. "Go," Cole said. "Ford's there." They splashed in. Water climbed to stirrup and bit hard. Shots cracked from the ridge. Cole kept the sorrel between the bank and the girl. The far shallows took them. "South spur," he said. "Keep to brush." They trotted the willow line. Twice Nora pointed and they slid off trail to let a rider ghost past. Frost silvered the grass. They made the flats by dawn. "Cedar Ridge," Cole said. "Telegraph." "You're bleeding through," Nora said. "Not worth the telling." They rode a wash that kept their sign on stone. By full light the town showed. 7 buildings, 1 steeple, smoke straight up. It looked like any place with chores. Cole felt the wrong in it anyway, a hush that belongs to a church, not a street. "Hold," he said. He crawled to the last rise. 2 men by the smithy, not talking. A freight wagon blocked the road. A curtain twitched and stayed. No dogs, no kids. "They set the table," Cole said. "Another way?" Nora asked. "Back trails watched. We cut behind the church and break for the pasture gap." If they sleep on it, we wire at the next town. Or we run and they run us down. Wren spoke, small and sure. Mama says doors. Right, Cole said. We make one. They cut wide, using gravestones for cover. Cole eased the gate latch with his sleeve. It still squealed. The hat in shade turned. Time's up, he said. Ride. They shot for the gap. Men poured from porches and alley mouths, more than the town should own. Keene was with them, neat as a ledger. Stop, he called. Court papers. Fire, a rough voice answered. Cole took the near fence in one jump, Nora the next. Bullets found nothing but air and old boards. Cole angled for a brushy swale that braided to open country. 3 riders cut across to head them. The third, big horse Silver Conchos, needed no name. Blackthorn reined to a walk and smiled. Morning, Bannister. You've made me saddle up more than I like. Send the bill, Cole said. Give me what's mine, and these people ride away. They aren't yours. They are until a judge says different. I own the judge. Wren's fingers tightened. Nora kept the bay straight. The baby stirred and quieted. Cole lifted his rifle. Last chance, he said. Turn around. Keene rode on the right, palm out. Let's not spill daylight. Papers, Mrs. Whitlow. I'll carry them safe. I carried them this far, Nora said. Blackthorn's smile thinned. Enough talking. He raised his hand. Men closed the circle. Behind Cole came more riders from the church lane, dust soft as breath, guns held easy. They had time and numbers. Cole felt the world narrow, family on one side, wolves on the other. He spoke without turning. Nora, when I say take the low ground and go, don't stop. And you? I'll be along. He dipped the rifle and breathed once, letting the day slow. Wind slid through broomweed and told him north. Sun found metal. Then a new sound walked in from the hills. Horses at a steady lope. A voice called, carrying, United States Marshal, lay down your arms and stand. Heads turned. Blackthorn's eyes went flat. Cole didn't smile. Looks like the judge ain't the only man on earth. The circle wavered. Guns came up, some to fight, some to quit. A badge flashed on the ridge. Hold, Cole said. Hold. Easy. Riders crested the ridge, badges winking. The lead man read from a paper. Wade Hollister, U.S. Marshal. Warrants for Silas Blackthorn, Judge Reeves, and others. Kidnapping, traffic, bribery. Lay down your guns. Keene laughed. Paper don't stop lead. Sometimes it starts it, Hollister said. A held second ticked. Blackthorn chose. Take them. The street broke open. Men surged. Cole shoved his sorrel between Nora and the nearest muzzle and fired low to rattle a horse. Nora drove for the swale, Wren tight as a knot, Toby warm under her coat. Keene slid along a wagon with a shotgun. Its mouths stared at Nora. Cole spurred, shouldered in. The blast took him high, left of center like a hammer. He folded but kept a hand on the horn and dragged the sorrel around to shield the girl. Nora wheeled. Cole, ride, he said, tasting iron. Hollister's line hit the circle clean. 2 marshals knelt and laid a sheet of measured fire. The rest wavered. Keene racked fast. Hester's lesson told. Doors, not walls. Nora slid right, caught the barrels, shoved up. The shot tore sky. She drove her knee, took his wind. The gun clattered. He grabbed for a pistol. She kicked it into the gutter. Mrs. Whitlow, he rasped, you don't know the world you're making. I know the one you sold, she said. Blackthorn walked his black horse forward through the mess. Give me the box, he called. Give me the woman. Lay that man down and go. Nora set the bay across his path. No. He smiled without joy. I forget how stubborn schoolmarms are. His pistol came up, slow and certain. He aimed past Nora, at Cole on his knees. Cole gathered the rifle, one arm gone to fire. He would be slow. Blackthorn would not. Drop it, Hollister barked. Too late, Blackthorn said and squeezed. Nora threw the bay into him. Horse met horse. The shot chewed church stone. Blackthorn rocked, then struck her with the gun's steel. She slid but didn't fall. Wren's small cry held her up. Cole found a sight. He didn't aim for pride, he aimed for staying. His bullet took Blackthorn under the collarbone and spun him. Hollister closed and fired once, center and final. The black horse danced. Its rider sagged and slid. Silence fell. Keen, Hollister called. Step easy. The detective raised his palms. I'm a contractor. You're a list of counts, the marshal said. A deputy cuffed him and read Wright's plain. Cole tried to stand and couldn't. Then Nora was there, one hand pressing blood, the other holding him to daylight. Stay, she said. Hear me? Stay. Wren knelt, jaw set. Daddy? Cole smiled with half a mouth. Hey, little bird. Hollister came up, hat off. Bannister, you did enough. We've got it. Reeves is under guard. Nora pulled the tin from her coat and put it in his hands. Names, roots, money. Hollister weighed it. Ma'am, this hangs men. It frees others, she said. Both, he agreed. He turned to the street. Any man wants to sign his name to decency can do it now. The rest, put your guns down and wash up. A wagon bed became a stretcher. They lifted Cole on 3. He saw sky, then Nora's face leaning over, fierce as hope. You done with running? He asked, voice thin. Done, she said. He let the dark close a little and didn't fight it. A bell tolled once, maybe for the old life. He felt Wren's hand on his and heard Toby's soft breath. They carried him toward the depot where a doctor would be and a wire would sing different news. Good news. Light fell through long panes and made squares on the floor. The room smelled of carbolic and coffee. Cole woke to the quiet tick of a hallway clock and Nora's hand around his. You stayed, he said. I told you to, she answered. How long? 6 days, she said. Doctor says you're good at breathing when it hurts. Blackthorn? Gone. Hollister signed the papers over him. Reeves is in irons. Keen is learning the word sir from the wrong end. Talbot helped count warrants. Footsteps. Hester Crowell came in with Isaiah behind her, hat in hand. Wren slipped around them carrying a small cloth bundle. You look like a man who argued with a shotgun and then won on points, Hester said. Felt like a draw, Cole said. Wren climbed onto the chair and unwrapped the bundle. Inside sat a little bird carved from cedar, wings up. She set it on his sheet. It's a wren, she said, so you don't forget where home sings. He touched the soft grain with bandaged fingertips. I won't. Isaiah cleared his throat. Marshals run the trains free for witnesses. Your tickets read today if you can sit a bench. If not, tomorrow. Hollister filled the doorway a minute later. Mr. Bannister, he said. Ms. Whitlow will roll Reeves south by week's end. Your box opened mouths in 3 counties. I'll need sworn words when you're up to it. Keep to friends until the bench bangs. Any long arms left? Cole asked him. Some, Hollister said. None with a payroll. He tipped his hat and went. Nora poured water. You don't owe the world another bullet, she said. What do I owe you? Time, quiet, a roof that isn't borrowed. Hester's root cellar was near a church, he said. Hester snorted. And you're near foolish. I've got a side pasture needs mending and a bunkhouse wants laughter. You can pay with fence and stories. She, a chin at Nora, can remind this county what a chalkboard is. The little ones can chase hens and not heavy thoughts. Nora looked at Wren, then at Toby, asleep in a sling on her chest. Wren needs regular hours and a clean desk. Toby needs a place to grow. Cole needs to stop riding toward guns, Hester added. Isaiah nodded. There's a winter's worth of quiet if you let it in. Cole breathed slow. I can try. Yes. Wren crawled close. Daddy, do you remember the poem? Some, he said. She whispered, sure now. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Nora's eyes softened. Cole felt the room blur and steady again. I don't know what we call this yet, he said to her, but I know where I mean to stand. We start with breakfast and fence wire, she said. We let the day tell us the rest. He looked at Toby. The baby blinked at him like a solemn judge and grabbed his finger. Hello, Toby Pike, Cole said. We'll get you a better story. Outside, sun pooled on brick like warm coin. A bell clanged down by the freight yard. The train would be ready when he was. Hester tied his boot strings easy. Don't rush a knit bone, she said. We'll roll you home slow and right. Cole settled back and let the notion of home come closer. Not a cabin full of ghosts, but a place with plain chores and a table that kept its chairs full. Nora squeezed his hand once, firm. We've run enough, she said. Then we walk, he answered. Together, Wren added, and set the cedar bird on the windowsill, where it could keep watch over the tracks, and the life waiting at the end of them. The train took them as far as Sage Hollow, then a wagon finished it. Hester waited in the lane with Isaiah, a quilt over the rail, coffee steaming. Wind combed the grass like a careful hand. Cole walked slow, but he walked. Nora matched him and did not hover. Wren ran ahead, cedar bird in her pocket, and opened the bunkhouse door like letting the place breathe. They made a plain supper. Hester said grace, quick and fierce. Isaiah tuned a harp until it sounded like memory. News came on paper and riders. Hollister wired, Reeves pled and got years. Keene took a cell and a view of brick. Names from the tin traveled. Some men left before their mail. Sheriff Talbot held the oath like a fence post and stayed. Work made hours honest. Cole fixed rails, mended gates, and taught Wren how to read a sky for weather. Nora opened the old school twice a week, chalk squeaking like small birds. The first day, 3 kids came. By month's turn, 10. She kept the back bench for cowhands, wanting numbers enough to dodge cheats. Samuel Red Elk showed one noon with a rabbit and a feather for Wren. Trails cross, trails part, he said. Keep a good fire and a better story. He studied Cole's arm and nodded once. You heal where you have to. On a clear Sunday with no talk of law, they rode to the Angel Oak. The park was quiet. The bark held no secrets now. Nora set her palm on the root where a tin once slept. We start clean, she said. No more boxes. Cole took a breath he hadn't known he'd been saving. You want vows? He asked, voice low. I want the days, she said. If vows come, they come because the days asked for them. He smiled. Then we give the days their say. They headed home, slow. That evening Hester poured cider and sat them down. This place needs a circle, she said. Not rings, just hands. She took Nora's right and Cole's left, and put Wren's small one on top. Toby flapped his and laughed at the shape of it. Family, Hester said. We'll answer to that. The word sat easy and stayed. It fit like a glove. Amen, Isaiah said. Winter moved in with thrift. The cabin stayed warm. Cole kept a ledger that ran on fence posts and hay. Nora taught and read, and sometimes she leaned in the doorway and watched the yard like she'd been given back a map. Wren finished her bird and set it by the window to watch for trains and storms. Toby learned to toddle, then chose dirt over boards. One late afternoon, clouds sat red as banked coals. Cole stacked the last kindling and felt the quiet come on like a blanket. Nora stepped beside him, shoulder easy against his. You still hearing the auction? She asked. Some nights, he said. Quieter now. What fixes it? This. He nodded toward Wren chasing chickens and Toby clapping at feathers. And you reading to them when the house goes soft. Nora smiled. You paid dear for this piece. I'll keep paying. It's a good bill. A freight whistle floated from the far track, thin and clean. Wren came up, panting. "Daddy, can I make another carving?" "What this time?" "A house," she said, "so we don't forget where to come back to." "Make the door wide," Cole said. "Folks might find their way." He looked at Nora. "We walk, like we said." "Together," she answered. They stood a while, with nothing more to add. The land held still and seemed to approve. Behind them, the lamp threw a small, steady light against the window pane, and the cedar bird kept watch without moving at all. Sometimes the West wasn't about guns or cattle. It was about the small mercy of finding a place to belong. Under a wide sky, Cole, Nora, and the children chose to stay. Not because the world was safe, but because they were safe together. If this story touched something in you, a memory, a feeling, or just a quiet hope, I'd love to hear it. Share your thoughts, and let's keep the campfire burning a little longer.